Folks, welcome to Best Stock Charts for the coming week. This is Bob Desmond, and what we're going to talk about today are our favorite stocks as we proceed into the new trading week. We'll talk about what our strategy is right now in this market environment as we proceed into earnings. And the symbols that we'll be talking about today are XTL, SPG, BLDR, XRT, IJT, and BSX, and TXG looking really good. So those are the symbols that we'll be talking about as potential trades. How will we be trading these names? Well, unlike in recent months, what we've been doing by and large of late is focusing more on selling premium. What does that mean? For those not familiar with options trading, what we've been doing is rather than being net long, net short the market with new positions, we've rather taken a neutral approach. Meaning that we're selling out of the money put and call options, usually strangles. That's the sale of a deep out of the money put option and a deep out of the money call option. Same expiration date, same position size on either side. And our goal is to generate cash flow in this kind of uncertain market environment where we're pushing up higher on ever declining up volume. And it appears as though we're going to go up higher. My concern is a black swan event. Whether it be geopolitical or homegrown, I'm not sure yet. But these markets are at crazy unsustainable levels. They can go up higher, but I want the flexibility if and when we do get that black swan event, meaning a major push lower in these markets, I want to have the capital at our disposal to be able to take advantage of some great opportunities when we do find a bottom. And by selling premium, meaning selling options, we're the casino, we're not the gambler. So we like the higher volatility that a sell-off would bring. So that's how we're positioning ourselves at current. Let's talk about the charts that we're going to be watching for this new trading week. But before we talk about those symbols, I want to talk to you about our friends over at TrendSpider. Automated technical analysis. If you're not using automated technical analysis, you're missing an arrow in your quiver versus your competition who are certainly subscribing to TrendSpider. They are growing leaps and bounds. Trust me, I know the management. So automate your grunt work, speed up your analysis while improving your accuracy at the same time. And by using trade alerts, you're able to reduce costly analytical mistakes and time your trades with precision using a rules-based approach. What does that mean? Well, you want to identify where your support and resistance levels are prior to entering a trade because you want to buy at support so you can set a tight stop and then add more on a breakout. And those alerts help you to avoid impulse buys and sells using a rules-based approach. So take advantage, 35% discount code below, cheapest price on the web. They have a demo, 7-day free trial offer. Here's the demo. I offer TrendSpider free to our silver and gold level memberships because I believe in it so much. I use it so much, so just simply take a look at my watch list here of alerts. So, again, take advantage of it, 35% discount code. Let's begin. And before I forget, tomorrow night, Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube, Sunday Night Futures Live. Join us for the opening price action of the futures market, and then we'll do stock chart requests. We're also going to talk about earnings. Earnings come out this week, big bank week, as well as economic data. Let's get to the charts. First up, XTL, monthly chart. We are in the middle of a trading range. You can see that we have resistance above. How do we know? Click of a button. The automated trend lines with a quick click of a button would have told you back here in February, get out. And we pulled back. Now we're consolidating pretty nicely here on a monthly time frame. The month is still early. A lot can happen. I like 91.79. Let's scroll down to a weekly chart. The weekly chart, again, automated trend lines, picking up support. Take them off, put them on. This looks very interesting. If we happen to retest yet again, we'll keep this active for a couple of weeks. We're trading above a volume shelf. This is a VWAP shelf, volume weighted moving average. 94.12, looking very good. So again, folks, we're going to be looking at the probabilities charts, meaning here, this is for Boston Scientific, BSX. We'll go over this chart in a moment. But I'm setting up strategies for probabilities of profit. And we're using a 1 standard deviation move to identify where we may want to sell calls or puts, making this a strangle, generating cash flow. I like to go a little bit beyond a 1 standard deviation move. That's like a 68% probability of trading out of the money. I like to go about 1 1/3 standard deviation. So this may not ultimately be our setup here for Boston Scientific. I'm getting off into the weeds here, but this is what I'll be doing for XTL later on. I'll post it in the newly formed option selling channel on our members Slack forum. So I will copy and paste, and there you have it. This is our first post, and that is available to members, and I will do the same with all of these symbols. I'll post them. These may not be the ultimate setups that we go with. Again, right now, BSX is a 1 standard deviation setup. I'm looking for about 1 1/3, a little bit of extra protection in either direction. I take in less premium, but it's more of a consistent cash flow. Back to XTL. I'm not going to bore many of you out there do not want to trade options on XTL or any of these names, so I'm not going to go through the probability setup for either of the next symbols that we're going to go over. But if you're a member, I'll post them in the members area because we have a lot of options traders. And again, we're not buying options. We are not the gambler. We are the casino. We're looking to generate cash flow, right? We want a higher probability of success, pop, probability of profit. That's what we're shooting for. So XTL looking good here, bouncing off of weekly support, daily chart. We have resistance above here at 97.08. We're looking for a breakout above that mark. No sensitivity. Sometimes this happens. It widens out. You set it to 0, and it widens out for whatever reason. So what you do here, just go like this and go back all the way, and it goes away. Now, here's the good thing about options writing is that I don't care if it breaks out, breaks down, because I'm diversified to the long and to the short side. So that's the difference between getting long of the XTL using the common stock or shares versus selling premium. I still like it on a breakout or on a pullback, one of the two. But from a call options perspective and a put options perspective using a strangle strategy, I don't care what it does. I'm market neutral on it. So XTL looking very bullish. Moving into the new trading week, SPG, Simon Property Group. Using the monthly chart, you can see that we've been consolidating nicely here. We broke through this volume shelf at the 105.72 mark back in February. We retested in March. Now we're attempting to break out this month, but we do have resistance above at 122.77. So a pretty wide trading range here, weekly chart. Now, what I want to do here is I want to add my automated trend lines, and you can see that these appeared up here. That tells me I have a lot of room to run before we hit resistance. Now, I can also overlay monthly resistance on top of a weekly time frame. It'll appear as a dashed line, and there you have it here. So right where you have this volume shelf, it's perfect. Perfect setup. We're going to have resistance at 155.20. So from a risk-reward perspective, Simon Property is looking pretty good should we get a breakout. A very nice setup. The only negative I see here is that we're trading within the middle of a trading range, daily chart. Now you can see the Bollinger Bands are very tight. I think we're setting up for a Bollinger Band squeeze here with a resolution probably to the upside on Simon. The raindrop chart here on Friday, which is a mixture of volume-weighted moving average and candlestick charting. The left side is the morning price action. Right side is the afternoon price action. I really pay attention to the afternoon price action because I'm very interested to see whether or not you have net buying or selling into the close. And the fact that we are green with a big fat, I call it a pregnant belly, on the right side implies to me that you saw buying into the close. That's healthy. That's good stuff. The only negative I see here is that we had light volume on Friday, but we did break out on a daily time frame. So that's pretty bullish. So I like Simon. So are we going to use the common shares to open up a position here, or are we going to adopt a more neutral approach using a cash flow generation strategy using a strangle? Not quite sure yet, but I'll do the analysis, see what the risk reward is, and if we adopt the strangle approach, I'll post it in the members area on the Slack forum under options selling, that channel, which I just showed you. So SPG looking very good as we proceed into the new trading week. Now, BLDR, I'm just realizing that they now have raindrop charts for monthly and I guess weekly. I'm just realizing this. This is brand new. They don't have it on, oh, they do have it on weekly here. Okay, cool. So we now have raindrop charts on a monthly and weekly time frame. Great stuff. Usually it was only for daily and intraday trading. Now, weekly and monthly. Really, really good stuff. Cool. All right, back to the monthly chart. Way too early in the month to leverage the raindrop charts. More towards the end of the month, but the weekly we could certainly use. Monthly chart, we have a new monthly high. The trend here on the BLDR, Builder's First Source. This is a ETF. Very strong chart, weekly chart. Now, here's the power of automated trend lines by clicking of a button here. You can see that we had broken out the week of March the 8th, retest 1, retest 2, retest 3. We broke out last week. Despite the fact we closed off the highs of the week, still a good move. Daily chart, nice move on Friday, but we do have resistance above right here. So I don't want to buy into resistance. I would rather want to buy on a breakout. Here's our alert. Or I would want to buy on a retest of the breakout point. We'll keep a little bit of sensitivity here, not too much. So we want to know if we touch, bounce, we'll keep this active for the next 5 trading days, and we're good to go. Our alerts are set. They're right here on the right sidebar. Until they fire off, I ignore it. Unless, of course, we want to open up a strangle, which we really don't care if it breaks out or does nothing. That's the beauty of using a strangle. You have 3 ways to make money. Either the shares rally or break down and avoid your strike price. They trade sideways and do nothing. Or they close out in the money, yet below your break-even point. So several ways to make money rather than trying to take a directional bet in either direction. But it appears as though the BLDR wants to move up higher. It's probably going to break out here. Very bullish, looking good. Xrt Retail. I did not expect this time last week to be talking about retail. However, consumer credit came out last week. They expected a rise of $5 billion in consumer credit. It was actually like $21 billion. So people are out there with their charge cards again, going into debt, and XRT should do pretty well. Monthly chart. We do have resistance above. Again, the power of the automated trend lines. We do have resistance above here at $147 and rising. We closed out at 92.17. Weekly chart. So the weekly chart is picking off resistance up here. We're very close to it. So my obvious play here is to set an alert on a breakout. So our alert is set for breakout, 0 sensitivity. All I care about is, do we close above that resistance level? That's all that matters. You don't care about the morning. Are we trading above it? It doesn't matter where a stock trades intraday, intraweek. What matters is where it closes. And all I care about is that we close above resistance. So we'll keep this active for 10 days. Now I set it and forget it. Now another play here is to simply do this. Play connect the dots, take your crayon out. Now we're using the manual tool. Create an alert, touch, bounce, little bit of sensitivity. Bit more. That's good. Now the reason why we look for the support level to get hit is because it enables us to better manage our losses. because I know that if we fail to hold this support level, we got to get out. All right, so we want to buy as close to the support level as possible, test the market, buy a small position, then stop out if it fails to hold. We bet a little, we lose a little. All right, so that's the discipline. That's the value of using the alerts, folks. Remember, when I started off here, I started saying reduce costly analytical mistakes and time your trades with precision. How do you do that? With the alerts. And again, I use them all the time. Daily chart. The daily chart, we're kind of a little bit in no man's land. We do have resistance above, as noted by the automated trend lines and plus my manually driven one. And this is interesting here. Wow. So I always say that even for experienced traders, it's good to keep your skills tested. And for newbie traders to technical analysis, it's good to validate your trend lines. I drew this trend line, and you can validate the accuracy of your trend line by then overlaying the automated trend lines. Now watch this. This is red at current. You can see how close we are by the automated trend line in green. So good stuff. So what I want to know here, I'll use we already have an alert set up here. All right, so I'm not going to replace it. So we're looking for a breakout or a pullback to support. Good stuff. And once we do begin to break out, this automated trend line here will act as a signal for us to identify where should we expect resistance. RSI is moving up higher. We're good to go here. Now, the IJT is a small cap growth ETF. We're very, very overbought on the small caps on a monthly time frame. That doesn't mean we can't move up higher. We currently have a short position on the small caps. So what I look to do here is to offset some of my risk by using a options trading strategy. Again, to generate cash flow, to offset risk. Now, when you overlay the automated trend lines on a monthly chart, you could see that we have a lot of resistance above, but that doesn't mean we can't move up higher this week. Weekly chart. Now, the weekly chart looks rock solid. Very good. And I don't like saying that because I do have a short position on. And when you overlay the automated trend lines, you can see we're consolidating against support here. This is probably going to make a move, despite the fact we closed down last week, this coming week. So I need to hedge my short position, and we'll be doing that using cash flow strategies. Members, you can pretty much guarantee that in the members area on the option selling Slack forum channel, we'll be posting a trade strategy for IJT using a Strangle option strategy. Again, we're not buying options, we're selling them. We're the casino, not the gambler. Daily chart looks very good. We popped up higher on Friday above this yellow line, which is the volume-weighted moving average line. Now, the IWM, which we are short of, but this is growth and value, right? Now, the IJT, those are the value components, the 600 value components of the IWM. And you can see that value outperformed the overall IWM last week. So we're going to need to look to hedge this position, of which we are short. So I'm going to want to know pretty quickly when we make or if we make a new weekly high. So I'm going to set an alert to notify me the minute that we break out to a new weekly high. Daily chart looks very good, as I mentioned earlier. So IJT is probably going to move up higher here. Boston Scientific. Now, the reason why I like BSX, besides the technicals, is this. I've been watching it for several days. Is that the options, and this would definitely be a Strangle strategy. Why? I'll show you. And for those not familiar with what a Strangle strategy is, I'm going to post a link below to a definition by Investopedia, so that way you can take a look at it, learn about it, and see if it's for you. So here is a list of S&P 500 stocks. I only care about really S&P 500 stocks because they're liquid, and you don't have the risk of an event, a gamma event, meaning a massive spike up higher, lower, like you would with a smaller cap or a mid cap. And BSX is listed here, and you can see the IV percentile. That means that its IV rank over the past 52 weeks is well above 50. That's its average. And it's the options are very expensive. So I wouldn't want to buy these options, but I would certainly want to sell them because I capture all that premium. And even if I sold them 45 days out, you could see the IV percentile drop down to below 50, and it could be the next day for all I know. But I'll still capture a lot of that premium and book those profits, scalp, and move to the sidelines. So that's why I like BSX from an options perspective. The options are fat, as I like to call them, or the implied volatility is very high and not likely to stay this sustainable, and they'll probably contract. And there is our profit. And again, I posted in the Slack forum our parameters here. These might change by the time we execute the trade. And you may be thinking, do I need to sit in front of my computer all day long managing these things? No, that's the beauty of it. Go about your day job. Don't worry about staring at a computer all day long when you're trading strangles. Let's begin with a monthly chart. Now, you can see here, again, the power of the automated trend lines. Let's take them off, throw them on. Right now, we have a monthly breakout on BSX. Beautiful. The month is still early. We don't know whether or not it's going to close there. But as it stands right now, this snapshot in time, BSX is looking very, very good on a monthly time frame. Weekly chart. A very nice week last week, but you could see that the algorithm is picking up resistance up here. Again, click of a button. And what I'd be looking for is one of two things. Either A, a breakout, or to want to buy the shares. I don't want any sensitivity. All I care about is the fact that we close above it. Long entry or add, what does that mean? I'll show you in 2 minutes. Our alert is set. It's right up here in the right sidebar. What I'd also be interested in is a retest of support. Right at the top of this volume shelf would be interesting. As primary support, number one. Number two would be down here at around $38 per share. We'll keep a little bit of sensitivity on here. Way too much for right now. There you go. And we'll also keep this active for a couple of weeks, and we're good to go. So our strategy is this. Either A, we buy the breakout, or B, we wait for the pullback and a retest of support. We open a position with a tight stop right below, and then add as the shares begin to break out. That's the strategy. That's the two-step strategy. It's my favorite strategy. Daily chart. Friday, a beautiful reversal bar. I mean, a retest of support. We do have daily resistance above here. We already have an alert set. We're good to go. The raindrop chart, daily time frame looking really good. Lots of buying into the close. RSI, higher lows, looking good. BSX, probable strangle trade. Again, if you want a definition of the strangle, look at the link below and it'll be there for you. We're going to leave off with TXG, 10X Genomics. I really like this chart, monthly time frame, and we have broken out. Now, again, the month is still early. We don't know whether or not it's going to close above that mark. Weekly chart. We have a weekly breakout. Beautiful. Now, what I want to do is I want to set an alert. Touch or bounce. I want to see a retest of that support level. It may not touch exactly, but give or take a dime. And we'll keep this active for a couple of weeks. 10X can be volatile, so just be forewarned. Very nice. A little bit of selling, as noted by this raindrop chart on the back half of the week. Daily chart, beautiful. Beautiful setup here. We broke out on Friday. I think we're going up higher on 10X. Very bullish. And with that, folks, thanks for joining in. Don't forget, please join us tomorrow night, Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a link below, actually 2 links below. One, I have a 5-part video tutorial on my top 5 candlestick patterns. Enter your name, get those free, no charge, and you'll get alerted 15 minutes to a half hour prior to us going live. I also have another list where you could simply add your name, get alerted 15 minutes to a half hour going live. If you're already on our email list, Don't re-enter your name again or else you get spammed. I hate spam too. And don't forget TrendSpider, 35% discount code below. And I give it away free to members of our silver and gold level memberships. And until tomorrow night, folks, everybody enjoy your weekend. And I'll talk to you soon. Be well.